She trained the woman who destroyed her career. When she lost everything, everyone expected her to fight back. But she didn't. She prayed, and what followed shocked everyone. Her name was Helen. She was 42 years old. She had worked at Riverside Community Center for 11 years. It wasn't a glamorous job, but it mattered to her. She organized programs for elderly residents. She planned meals, activities, and transport schedules. She knew every name, every birthday, every struggle. Helen wasn't loud or flashy. She didn't seek attention. She just did her work quietly, and people loved her for it. Her coworkers respected her. Her supervisor trusted her. For over a decade, she had built something beautiful in that small community center. She thought it was safe. She thought loyalty mattered. She was wrong. 3 years ago, a new assistant was hired. Her name was Monica. She was younger, confident, polished. Helen welcomed her warmly. She trained her, showed her the systems, introduced her to the residents, shared every detail of how the programs worked. Monica smiled often. She thanked Helen constantly. She called her a mentor. Helen believed her. She even felt proud. She thought she was helping someone grow. But Monica wasn't there to learn. She was there to take. It started small. Monica began attending meetings Helen used to lead. She began speaking up more, offering ideas that sounded familiar. Ideas Helen had mentioned weeks before. At first, Helen didn't mind. She thought it was good that Monica was getting involved. But then Monica started taking credit. Subtle at first. A comment here. A suggestion there. She would reframe Helen's work as her own. And the supervisors started to notice Monica more. Helen tried to ignore it. She told herself it didn't matter who got the credit. As long as the work got done. As long as the residents were cared for. But deep down, something didn't feel right. Then came the incident. A financial report went missing. It was an important document. It tracked donations and program expenses for the quarter. Helen had prepared it carefully. She saved it on the shared drive. She even emailed a copy to her supervisor. But when the quarterly meeting came, the file was gone. Her supervisor asked for it. Helen checked her computer. The file wasn't there. She checked her sent emails. The email was gone too. Her heart pounded. She explained that she had completed it, that she had saved it. But there was no proof. Her supervisor frowned. Monica, sitting across the table, spoke up. "I can help recreate it if needed," she said softly. "I've been keeping my own notes." Helen stared at her. Monica's face was calm, helpful, innocent. But Helen saw something else in her eyes. Something cold. 2 days later, Monica submitted a report. It was nearly identical to Helen's, but it had Monica's name on it. The supervisor praised her, called her diligent, responsible. Helen said nothing. What could she say? She had no proof, no backup, no witnesses. She went home that night and cried. She prayed. She asked God why this was happening. She asked for strength, for clarity, for justice. But nothing changed. Weeks passed. Monica's influence grew. She was invited to more meetings, given more responsibilities. The supervisors began to see her as a leader. Helen was slowly pushed to the side. Her ideas were overlooked. Her contributions ignored. She felt invisible. One afternoon, Helen overheard a conversation. 2 staff members were talking in the break room. "Monica's really stepping up," one said. "Yeah," the other agreed. "I don't know what Helen's been doing lately. She seems checked out." Helen stood frozen outside the door. Checked out. She had been working harder than ever. But no one saw it. Monica had painted a picture. And everyone believed it. Then came the worst day. Helen was called into the director's office. Her supervisor was there. So was Monica. Helen's stomach dropped. The director spoke gently. "Helen, we need to talk about your performance." "Performance?" Helen's throat tightened. "There have been concerns," the director continued. "Missed deadlines. Incomplete reports. Lack of communication." Helen shook her head. "That's not true," she said quietly. "I've completed everything on time." The director slid a folder across the desk. Inside were emails. Emails from Monica to the supervisor. Each one documented a mistake Helen had supposedly made. A missed meeting. A forgotten task. A miscommunication with a vendor. Helen's hands trembled as she read them. None of it was true. But it was all there. In writing. With dates. With details. "I didn't do any of this," Helen whispered. The director looked uncomfortable. "Monica has been very thorough in her documentation." Helen looked at Monica. Monica's face was neutral. Professional. She said nothing. Helen realized then what had happened. Monica hadn't just stolen her work. She had been building a case. For months. Slowly. Carefully. Destroying Helen's reputation piece by piece. Helen was placed on probation. 30 days to improve her performance. What Helen didn't know was that this was only the beginning. She left the office in shock. She sat in her car for an hour. She didn't cry this time. She just stared ahead. Her mind was numb. She thought about fighting back. About confronting Monica. About going to HR. But what could she say? Monica had evidence. Helen had nothing. She drove home in silence. That night, she knelt by her bed. She prayed. Not for revenge. Not for Monica to suffer. She prayed for peace. For guidance. For God to see the truth. "I can't fight this on my own," she whispered. "I don't know what to do. But I trust you." The next few weeks were unbearable. Helen went to work every day. She did her job. But the atmosphere had changed. People treated her differently. Some avoided her. Others whispered when she walked by. Monica, meanwhile, thrived. She was cheerful. Friendly. She even offered to help Helen with her tasks. Helen declined politely. She kept her head down. She spoke only when necessary. She refused to engage. Her friends from church noticed the change. "You seem distant," one said. "Is everything okay?" Helen forced a smile. "Just a difficult season," she said. "I'm praying through it." She didn't tell them the details. She didn't want to speak badly of Monica. She didn't want bitterness to take root. So she stayed silent. And she prayed. Every morning. Every night. 1 month became 2. Helen remained on probation. Her supervisor watched her closely, waiting for another mistake. But Helen was careful. She documented everything. She double-checked every task. She kept copies of every email. Still, the tension grew. Monica began making small comments in meetings. "Maybe Helen can handle the smaller tasks for now," she'd say, "until she's back on track." It was always said kindly, with concern. But it was a knife wrapped in silk. This was the moment everything became dangerous. Helen felt her reputation crumbling. But she said nothing. She simply continued. Day by day, task by task, prayer by prayer. Then something shifted. It was small at first. A resident named Mr. Alvarez approached Helen one afternoon. "I haven't seen you leading the activity group lately," he said. "Monica's doing it now." Helen nodded. "Yes, she's taken over some of my responsibilities." Mr. Alvarez frowned. "She's not very good at it." Helen didn't respond. "She doesn't remember our names," he continued. "She rushes through everything. It's not the same." Helen squeezed his hand gently. "Give her time," she said softly. But Mr. Alvarez wasn't the only one. Other residents began to notice. Programs felt different. Less personal. Less warm. They started asking for Helen, but Monica was always there instead. And just when it seemed nothing would ever change, the truth began to surface. Then came the audit. Every year, the community center underwent a financial review. An external auditor came in to check the books. It was routine. No one was concerned. But this year, something was wrong. The auditor found discrepancies. Small amounts of money were missing. Receipts didn't match reports. Vendor payments were inconsistent. The director called an emergency meeting. All senior staff were required to attend, including Helen and Monica. The auditor presented his findings. There are irregularities in the program budget, he said, specifically in the reports submitted over the last 6 months. Helen's heart raced. 6 months. That was when Monica had taken over more financial responsibilities. The auditor continued. I'll need to review all documentation. Emails. Receipts. Logs. Monica shifted in her seat. Helen noticed. It was subtle, but it was there. A flicker of worry. The investigation took 2 weeks. During that time, the office was tense. No one spoke much. Monica stopped smiling. She looked tired, distracted. Helen continued her work quietly. She didn't ask questions. She didn't speculate. She just waited and prayed. Finally, the auditor returned. He met privately with the director. Then the director called Monica into the office. Helen was at her desk when it happened. She heard raised voices. Monica's voice, sharp and defensive. The director's voice, firm and disappointed. An hour later, Monica left the building. Her face was red. Her eyes were wet. She didn't look at anyone. She just walked out. And she didn't come back. The truth came out slowly. Monica had been altering reports, redirecting small amounts of donation money. Not much. Just enough to go unnoticed. She had also been deleting Helen's work, sabotaging her files, sending false reports to the supervisor, all to position herself as the reliable one, the competent one, the one who deserved Helen's job. But the audit exposed everything. Every lie, every manipulation, every stolen dollar. The director called Helen into the office. I owe you an apology, he said. His voice was heavy. We should have listened to you. Helen sat quietly. She didn't gloat. She didn't cry. She just nodded. Thank you, she said softly. Helen's probation was lifted. Her responsibilities were restored. Her reputation was cleared. Coworkers apologized. Some looked ashamed. Others simply welcomed her back. The residents celebrated. Mr. Alvarez hugged her. We knew, he said with a smile. We always knew. Helen returned to her work. But she was different now. Quieter. Steadier. She had learned something in those dark months. She had learned that silence was not weakness. That patience was not passivity. That trusting God meant letting go of control. She didn't need to defend herself. She didn't need to fight. She just needed to keep doing what was right and let God handle the rest. Months later, Helen heard that Monica had moved to another city. She didn't know the details, and she didn't ask. She prayed for her once. A simple prayer. That Monica would find peace. That she would learn from her mistakes. That God would show her a better way. Helen didn't carry bitterness. She didn't carry anger. She had released it all in prayer. And in that release, she had found freedom. One Sunday, Helen stood in her church. The pastor spoke about justice, about trusting God when the world feels unfair. Helen closed her eyes. She remembered the car, the steering wheel, the moment she thought she had lost everything. And she smiled, because she hadn't lost anything. Not really. God had been with her the whole time. In the waiting, in the silence, in the pain. He had seen every moment, every tear, every prayer. And in his perfect timing, He had brought the truth to light, not through her effort, not through her anger, but through his justice. Quiet, steady, undeniable. Helen learned that faith is not about getting what you want when you want it. It's about trusting that God sees, that He knows, that He is working even when you can't see it. She learned that silence is not defeat, that patience is not weakness, that prayer is the most powerful action of all. And she learned that God's justice is not loud. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't demand attention. It simply unfolds. In the right moment. In the right way. Perfectly. Helen still works at the community center. She still plans programs. She still knows every name, every birthday, every struggle. And when she faces difficulty now, she doesn't panic. She prays. She waits. She trusts. Because she knows. God always intervenes. Not always when we expect. Not always how we expect. But always. Always. In His perfect time. Moral. When you are wronged, you don't have to fight back. God sees everything. Trust Him. Stay silent. Stay faithful. And watch how He brings the truth into the light. His justice is slow, but it never fails.